What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back on this Thursday, where we're gonna talk about another revolution at the club. Now, I picked that word because it got picked in the media, and that was mentioned the year we sacked Allegri the first time. It was, oh, it's gonna be a total revolution, and we're gonna move into a different direction. And then the club said, you know what? That's not what we're gonna do. Trying to do a mini revolution and bring in a new coach. Now, this time Allegri, staying or no staying, it's gonna be a revolution apparently. And the main guys, or one of the main topics, is Kostic, Wea, Junior, all these players, Decilio, Alexandro. It's all about them, or like early stages in the transfer window. It's gonna be a lot of that about them. So that's what we're gonna talk about in this video. Before we do that, smash the like button, hit that like button now, so get to at least 85 like. Subscribe to the channel. We're getting closer to 5k, and let's get straight into the Revolution show. Okay, like I mentioned, the big stories or like the big newspapers were talking about revolutionish, revolutionish Juve side for the new season. And one of the main topics was Kostic. It was Weah. It was Ealing Jr. And they all have one thing in common. They all play similar positions in this Juve side, left, right, and they all have a lot of question marks surrounding them. Kostic, the question mark is he good enough? That's one. And can you get back your money? That's two. Junior is, if you don't sign that new deal, we're gonna sell you. But the question mark is, are you good? Are you bad? Are you average? We've not seen enough. And with Timothy Weah, excuse me, it's who are you? What are you actually as a player? Because the Timothy Weah one is interesting. And actually, I will ask the question now. So let me know in the comments. If you need to do keep, sell, whatever, with all these three players, Kostic, Junior, and Weah, what will you do and why? Let me know in the comments, because I asked that question and I said I will move on from Kostic no matter who the coach is. That doesn't mean Allegri will move him on if he stays. I would think about Timothy Weah, and I'll explain in a minute, and I will try to keep Ealing Jr., but I will also explain in a minute. Now on Kostic first, this is it for Kostic. This is the max. You can get back to last year's Kostic and he will get you the assist, but is that the type of player you want to have starting for your team week in, week out? That's a question you need to be asking yourself. Me personally, not. I think you can get Kostic back in terms of boost his numbers up. I don't think that's very difficult to do. However, is that still a player you look at and you're like, wow? Because even last season, he had a period where everybody was like, what the hell is happening? And then he popped up and he went on a crazy streak with assists. I think people forget that as well. So for me, it's done. At the end of the season, we need, and I don't hate Kostic, all those things. I know a lot of people hate player. I liked Kostic when he came in because I knew what he was, and I actually liked him when he was playing at Frankfurt. However, for Juve, for this side, no, we need something different. So for me, that's the quote-unquote easy one I would sell. On Ealing Jr., I've not seen enough to say sell, or even he's that guy. I've not seen enough. And the moments I think I saw from him that were good was some sort in his natural position, but not really. I think the games where he looked very good was when we were chasing games, and actually he wasn't really playing as a wingback when he came on. It was all attacking, and defensively it didn't really matter. Then he looked good as a wingback. You don't see his real qualities. Excuse me. I think he's very good on the ball, linking up play, overlapping. I think he has a big engine to him. Is he defensively solid? From what I've seen, not the best defender. Like, I'm not gonna pretend that, but it's not shocking. It's not that I look at Junior like, oh, you're getting cooked if you're gonna play week in, week out. I do not have those vibes, but I've not seen enough for him. So it's very, I don't know. It feels very wasteful of the club to say, you know what, just go. However, he only has 1 year left on his deal. So what are you gonna do? As a club, you can say we want to keep you, sign a new deal. But being junior, would you sign that new deal for what? Being benched for another season? So it all seems that what he's actually gonna move. If Allegri says he's gone 100%, also keep in mind it will be very clean plus Valenza for the club. Now, if Allegri doesn't stay, I think there's a chance he will stay. Not that the club is looking at Junior and it's like, wow, we really believe you. I also do not have that feeling. However, it gives you one less of a worry to deal with in the summer in terms of we need to get a player extra in. That's the only thing I have. Now, I know Nikoshira saying there are talks about a new deal, and even La Stampa was coming out saying they're in talks for a new deal. I'll remain extremely skeptical on Junior saying, because I thought would have been gone in January and there were real talks about him, and the club decided we're not going to do that. We're going to keep you. But in the summer, 1 year left on his deal, and again the focus is all crazy. So excuse me. I don't have a feeling that Junior is gonna stay. I think we will move him on. But let me know in the comments if you think otherwise. Now, Timothée Weah, that's the interesting one, because I think when we signed Weah, everybody was confused. Everybody was like, you know, that kind of sounds a bit off. It feels weird. It doesn't sit right. But he was cheap, and not the excuses. The reasoning was he can play so many positions. Can he? Like, can he really? He cannot play wing back, or he can play it, but he will look very average, in my opinion. His quality is pace, in my opinion, getting behind defenders. However, we do not do that. So he looks extreme. Like when I watch Timothy Weah play, it feels like, I don't know how to explain that. It feels like he wants to do something explosive, but he can't to a certain points, and it always feels very, I don't know, uncomfortable, very forced to not really be himself. That's how I view Timothy Weah on that pitch. It feels like he's ready to, really catch flames, but he's not really allowed to do it. Like, I have a very weird feeling watching Timothy Weah play. Is it fair to move him on after a year? Probably not, but if the club comes in and they tell me they have a better option, I'm all for it. I don't have a connection with any of those players. If we improve, no matter who the player is. However, I still want to see him differently, not as a wingback. Are we going to see that this season? Probably not. It's probably not going to happen. So maybe it's too late by the end of the season. But those are the big dilemmas. And De Sciglio comes into play as well. Like, back in training, picked up another issue. Like, pick up his contract and burn it. Pay him off. Let that player go. Remember when he signed that new deal and everybody was like, oh, he's on cheap. I was like, it's a waste of money. He's not good enough. That's one, obviously. And two, he's always injured. Now, the injury he picked up was crazy. If you ask me in which game did De Sciglio pick up that injury, I don't know. And to be honest, I keep forgetting that he's actually on the roster still. I'm not going to lie. I keep forgetting that he still plays for this club. How long has he been out? And I'm not even joking now. How long has it been? It feels 2 years. It's probably not 2 years. Is it a year that De Sciglio is out? I have actually no idea. But he was back in training and he picked something else up at the end of the season, ripped that paper apart and let him go. Like, just get rid of these players. At the time, it was a bad deal, and it's even more so today. Like, I know people try to, talk it into a good light, saying, oh, he's cheap and he's reliable. No. I don't care if he's cheap. There's a reason why he's cheap. There's a reason. And those are all the issues, all the things Giuntoli needs to deal with, because we obviously do need money, but I think it's also obviously that Timothy Weah is not working out for now. The junior one is very strange. Like, we don't see him ever. Like, again, we don't see him really. And with Kostic, he's poor. No matter how much Allegri is going to play him, he's poor. He's been poor 80% of the games at least this season, where you watch Kostic and you're like, you're not really helping out. Actually, you're not costing us, but like you're playing against us at times. Like you're really doing weird stuff. So that's the revolution, the start of a revolution. The big revolution is obviously in the middle of the pitch and also at the back. I think that's where the big revolution will take place and should take place. But that's still a long way to go. We have Bremer talks with Atletico, Manu, excuse me, but it's still very early. But like I said, question: what will you do with those three players mentioned? Timothy Weah, Kostic, and Ealing Jr. Let me know in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys back live on Friday evening.